Hi, I'm Paula Renova, and the crystal of 2021 is Aquamarine. It inspires you to have the courage to be who you are. And the video you're about to watch is part of our Crystals and Chakras meditation series. So to enroll there, you'll have a whole library of stones waiting for you. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of this video, and it'll be wonderful to have you there. So enjoy this video and many more to come when you enroll in our Crystals and Chakras meditation series, and I'll see you soon. Hello, so we're here with our Crystals and Chakras series where you find soul healing if needed, consciousness expansion, and the joy of life. And today we're going to talk about Aquamarine, which is an incredibly powerful crystal. It's so powerful. There's so much to say about it. And it aligns the throat chakra, but it also greatly benefits the third eye chakra in the Cardinal method. It aligns the throat because of the color. It's possibly the exact color of our throat chakras in an energetic spectrum, right? But because of its internal geometry, it also aligns the third eye. And it brings so much sophistication to your life. Your mind becomes sharper. You become a more aligned, authentic individual. There's a lot to say about it. So the general attribute of Aquamarine, if we were to put it in a nutshell, I would say is courage to be yourself. It is a stone of courage in general, and courage has to do with our heart's core, right? In Latin, it relates to the heart. And it's not the absence of fear. It's not about being fearless. It's about acknowledging your fear and moving forward regardless. Hand in hand with your fear, you still go forward. So emotionally, Aquamarine can really help you become more authentic and owning your truth. The throat chakra is the center of truth in our bodies, and nature intended us to live in truth, right? Personal truth and detecting the truth around us, being able to discern delusion from truth. But because we become so confused with our traumas and our experiences, often our chakras don't work as nature intended. So Aquamarine does help with the authenticity consciousness of the throat chakra, connecting you to your truth as well. And it's a stone that's very connected to your individuality, asserting your individual energy in the world. Especially for extremely sensitive people and empaths and people who sponge up external energy, it just creates this shield in which you discern what's yours and what's not, right? Anything that's invading you, we sometimes get confused and don't really understand what's our energy, what's the environment's energy or someone else's energy. So the more authenticity you develop within, the more authentic you are as a person, the more you strengthen your throat chakra, and the happier you will be, right? But it requires courage to be authentic. So that's one of the emotional benefits. I would say that another one is courage to not only to be yourself, but to step into your sacred path and to just dive into the unknown. When we speak of fear, there are lots of existential fears, and one of them is that we're scared of our inner world, right? We don't know what's waiting for us. In Aquamarine, being a stone of courage, it was a talisman of sailors, right? And that makes sense because they were facing unknown waters to find unknown land. And the same thing happens to us in our self-connection and self-development processes. So we need courage to be ourselves, and to be ourselves and to be in ever expanding consciousness, we need to face the unknown within. So emotionally, it gives you courage to know yourself, to step into your sacred path instead of following a path that others have built for you or that, serves others but not you. Often we do that. We live our lives to please other people. We think it's going to be too intense to say no to everything that's already set up for us, right? And say no to social conditioning, cultural conditioning, family conditioning, or saying no to our loved ones who sometimes love themselves more than they love us and they want us to conform to whatever it is that they want without respecting our truth. It can be that. Immature love from our loved ones can really create obstacles in our happiness. So the courage to step into your sacred path and to step into your unknown, uncharted territories within is a huge emotional benefit that you get from connecting to aquamarine energy. And it also emotionally will encourage you to create a soul journey for yourself, right? Emotionally, you become brave to travel to unknown shores, right? So this is beautiful, I would say, in terms of emotional benefits of aquamarine. It's a proactive energy. But it's also, I call this stone the emotional lifesaver. Whenever you're in turmoil, when the oceans are crazy and intense and stormy within, this literally is something that sailors used to believe about aquamarine. It's a very mystical stone. Some stones in many different cultures have this mystical archetypal attribute. I want you to see aquamarine as a stone that can benefit you naturally, right? I don't want you to be, expanding your fantasies about it. I want you to be sober about what it is. But in terms of a metaphoric ocean of our emotions, it can be a lifesaver. Like you're drowning in your own emotions and a boat comes by and rescues you. It's an emotional rescuer. It really is, because it brings the energy from the lower chakras, and especially if the heart's in turmoil, and it makes it travel up to the first purely divine chakra, which is your throat chakra, and also to the third eye. So your mind brings you this understanding of your own feelings, and it saves you from yourself a lot of times. So emotionally, it brings the benefit of being an emotional lifesaver. You rescue yourself with connection with the stone as long as you're open to its attributes, right? Another emotional benefit from aquamarine is tolerance with other people, because you understand their feelings. So tolerance in itself is a pretty ambiguous concept, because it's like, I will tolerate this. It triggers me, but I will, move forward and tolerate it. It's not that kind of ambiguous tolerance. It's more of a spiritual tolerance that starts to illuminate your emotions. Even if it triggers you, emotionally you understand that everything that's outside of you is a mirror image of your inner world, right? So people who trigger you and push your buttons, they're showing you a blind spot about yourself. And not always are people willing to understand this and to accept this. There's a lot of reactive energy whenever we say this person bothers you because this person's a mirror image of something within you that you don't want to admit to or that you don't want to see. And sometimes people don't like to listen to this. But the moment you start tolerating people who trigger you more within reason, with healthy boundaries, because aquamarine also creates an energy shield of, to protect your individual energy. We'll talk about that soon in this video. But when it comes to tolerance, it's really about not being triggered by others because you see them as yourself. You get more awareness that we are all one ultimately. And that if that person is in your life, that person is trying to show you something. It's a language of consciousness that if you sophisticate your mind enough, you understand it, right? So emotionally, you won't be so reactive to other people who push your buttons and trigger you. It really will encourage you to create more tolerance in a pure spiritual way. And another thing that I love about aquamarine is that it's one of the best stones to encourage you to take responsibility for yourself. You don't want to be saved by others. You don't want to be cared for by others. You want to take responsibility for your life and be resourceful and autonomous. You can't ask for help, but whenever you ask for help, you will do your part as well. You're not going to expect the other person to be your lifesaver. You are your own emotional lifesaver. Aquamarine brings that kind of awareness, you know? So, responsibility for self regarding all the experiences of your life. You understand that you created those experiences. Most of them unconsciously. We do not have a lot of people in this planet yet in our human experience who are co-creators of their experience from a conscious level. We usually create our experiences from the unconscious mind, and we don't even think that we're the authors of those experiences, right? So the more you work in your inner world, the more you clear it and cleanse it and align it, and you will have better life experiences by default, because it's going to be a mirror image of what you're doing within. It all starts with your inner work, right? So this kind of awareness will bring responsibility for self, an emotionally responsible person, instead of playing the blame game. So emotionally, it brings that kind of energy, which I love. It's really about asserting your individuality when it comes to Aquamarine. I'm such a huge fan of this stone for that reason too, right? And it also is wonderful on the emotional level to conclude unfinished business. Whenever you have unfinished business in your life, it could be emotional, it could be business, like it could be business wise, right? It could be professional, it could be financial. Anything that's still unfinished business, open doors that should have been closed a long time ago, energetic attachments. Even if, for example, the relationship ended 10 years ago and you're still holding the torch, you're still holding on to that. Or you started a business, the business ended, and there's still paperwork, you know what I mean? Nothing is just physical, everything is emotional. So there's emotional attachment. And something inside you is immature in the sense that it doesn't want to let go of that experience, and it doesn't allow the door to be closed. And don't blame others for this. It's taking responsibility for yourself and trying to understand and making an effort and really making it into understanding. It's not just about trying, it's about actually creating a new reality. Understanding that if it's unfinished business, part of you is still not allowing that door to be closed. So the more you work with Aquamarine, the more you allow unfinished business to become finished business, neutral, without any emotional charges, and allowing you to move forward into the unknown instead of being addicted to the familiar, small, known world of your past, right? So I love this about Aquamarine. It's so empowering in that level. When it comes to the mental benefits of the stone, there are many. Remember, it connects the throat and the third eye chakras, so it just brings so much power to our lives because it sharpens your mind, it sophisticates your brain, it expands your awareness, and it connects your emotions to your thinking. You become a more integrated human being. So the first mental benefit I would mention about Aquamarine is that it calms the mind down. It's related to the oceans, but it calms those waters down. Even if you are in a stormy ocean, you know you're safe. It just brings a calm mind, right? And because it sharpens your mind, you see solutions immediately. Why does it calm your mind down? Because you start understanding, your mind starts to understand that every problem has a solution. And you stop focusing on the problem, and you know that there is a solution. You don't think there's a solution, you know that there is a solution, and you focus on the solution. Therefore, your mind calms down. So awesome, right? On a mental level. It's also beautiful because it brings an understanding of other people's feelings. So it's a sophisticated, sharpened mind when it comes to understanding others, understanding their feelings. And as an immediate consequence of that, you stop judging. We only judge what we don't understand, right? So it calms your mind down, so you're not reactive. You're just observing and understanding other people's feelings. And you focus on yourself and you just refrain from jumping into someone else's energy field. The moment you judge others, you're jumping into their field and you're creating this whole mess of, entangled energy. Aquamarine helps you discern your energy and someone else's energy. You don't entangle yourself because you're not judging. You're understanding other people's feelings and their soul timing, which may be very different from yours. And when it stops triggering you, it means you've conquered peace of mind. And Aquamarine really helps with that. It's so awesome. Another thing that it does, it really helps with a persistent mind. You persist, you don't give up, that's again why you don't have unfinished business in your life anymore, because you persist and your mind wants to understand all there is to understand in the situation, and you go all the way to the end. So it's a great stone for persistence, a persistent mind. It really brings that to you. And it also clears confusion, because again, why do we get confused? Because we give up too early, right? We just leave it there in a mess. And if you have a persistent mind, you immediately have another mental benefit, which is clearing away confusion, because you will want to understand whatever it takes. It's not going to be obsessive, because Aquamarine is a calming stone, but it's going to be persistent. I will get to the bottom of this. I will understand it till the end. It will make sense. It will click, right? So when it clicks, you have clarity. It releases complete confusion. It clears confusion from your mind. So another great mental benefit of this beautiful stone. And this is, again, so awesome when it comes to Aquamarine, because it is one of the most powerful stones to release programming of self-defeat and self-sabotage. So all kinds of mental programmings that we may have from our DNA, it could be ancestral, it could be in utero, some self-defeating programming that may happen when you are in your mother's womb. It could be imprinted in your soul from past lives. All the self-sabotaging and self-defeating programming in your mind can be released and dissolved the more you connect to Aquamarine. So it's so powerful. It's such a gift, right? The more you connect to the stone, you get that benefit as well in the mental level. And it, as I told you, it acts like an energy shield of your individuality. So it, on the mental level, it really helps to repel other people's energies when it comes to other people focusing too much on you, obsessing about you. Sometimes it's a loved one who loves immaturely, so that person doesn't even have a life. All they do is focus on you and care about what you're doing instead of taking care of their own business, right? So what can happen for very sensitive people who have very porous boundaries, empaths, is that the other person may be focusing on you, obsessing about you, and you may think it's you thinking about him or her. So you understand that it's coming from that person and not from you. You're minding your own business and you keep thinking about someone. It's not coming from you. It's coming from them obsessing about you. It's called mental invasion of your energy field. So their mental focus is way stronger than you because you're not really aware of that. So the more you work with Aquamarine, the more you discern that this is not my intensity. This is coming from someone else. It could be a romantic partner. It could be a parent. It could be a boss. It could be an employee, whatever. You just discern. Your mind becomes sharpened enough and you discern that this is not what is your energy and what is someone else's energy. Maybe if you're obsessing too much about someone, then it's coming from you and you're invading someone else's field with your mental focus. It's going to help discern all that. But mostly, it repels other people's invasive thoughts in your energy field. And because it clears confusion, you will know very well if it's coming from someone or if it's coming from you, right? So it's great to sharpen your mind on a mental level in that sense. And it's also powerful for clairvoyance. For people who already have this gift, who have already developed clairvoyance, it's going to just align it and strengthen it and create more peace with your clairvoyant gifts. For people who deny it, who have it and don't want it and who are afraid of it. It's a stone of courage of being yourself. So you embrace it more naturally if you have the clairvoyance gift and you're afraid of it. And for people who want to develop it, we all have that, but some people have developed it more than others. And it can help you develop your clairvoyance, if that's your intention, in a very aligned and safe way. Okay, so mentally, it has all these amazing benefits, right? And as I told you, it really connects the throat and the third eye chakras. It's just a beautiful dynamic with Aquamarine. And when it comes to the physical benefits, it's a stone that cleanses and cleans everything. It's related to water, right? Aqua, water. So it cleanses environments, both your body and your environments. If your body has a lot of stagnant energy, it's going to help the body. The body is a mirror image of your soul. So the more you clean and cleanse your soul, the more you resolve your emotional issues, your mental stories, your body will respond accordingly. So it does benefit the physical body indirectly by cleansing and clearing the energies. And you can have the intention to release whatever it is from your body using Aquamarine. It also really helps to calm the environment down. So if you're in a very agitated environment because of many people, or because of too many objects, or because of your personal activities that are too intense there, Aquamarine calms down the environment. It's a calming stone for the physical realm, both for your body and for your environment. And it also, at the same time, it's so interesting. It calms down the environment and the body, but it also is a dynamic stone. It's not a rushed stone. It's not going to rush you into anything, but it will bring rhythm and dynamic flow, productivity. You'll just do whatever there needs to be done because it cleans and clears away the obstacles in your energy field. And it also is wonderful for self-expression with your body and with your voice. So on a physical level, it's about self-expression physically, verbally, singing or dancing, theater, using your body to express who you are. The throat chakra is the center of truth in our bodies, of self-expression, of authenticity, of creativity. So Aquamarine is going to encourage those natural consciousness elements of your throat chakra. So physically, it will encourage you to express yourself verbally, with songs, with music, with dance, with yoga, with whatever art uses the body, right? So it's amazing. Physical self-expression is a beautiful benefit that Aquamarine will bring to you as well. It's so empowering. You own your body to express yourself. What could be more awesome, right? I just love this about Aquamarine. And when it comes to the spiritual benefits, I always say these are the most important aspects of the stones. The essence of the crystal is spiritual, and all the other benefits will come from that one, right? So in a nutshell, Aquamarine is a powerful stone to combat darkness and encourage light. It favors the light and combats darkness. And I don't want you to get in a duality kind of mindset when I say this, because when I say darkness, it's not, the nurturing absence of light, the nurturing womb of creation. Because when we live in unity, we embrace all of existence. When I say a darkness, it's about distortions and misalignments. So it will combat distortions and misalignments and encourage you to embrace the truth. It favors the truth. Okay? It favors the light because it is connected to the truth. Again, the center of truth in the body is the throat chakra. So the more you become yourself and you have the courage to be yourself, the more you choose and you favor your inner light. And you combat your distortions that make you play small and hide yourself and live in judgment and just be in petty mode. So Aquamarine spiritually is going to encourage you to favor your inner light and the truth of who you are and expressing your truth to the world. So when you do that, you are favoring humanity. You're helping humanity evolve. It's not about you being out there to protect humanity from darkness. It's not what I mean. It means that the more you are yourself and shine your light, the more humanity benefits. You don't have to do anything for humanity. You're going to be favoring humanity the more you have the courage to be yourself, the more you favor your own light and combat your own darkness. You do a favor to humanity by being who you are. And then you start inspiring others to do that. So again, it ripple effects and helps humanity evolve just because you're shining your light and favoring your own truth. Right? So the spiritual benefit in a nutshell is that Aquamarine encourages you to combat darkness, distortions, and to favor the light and the truth. Your truth and everyone's truth and the truth around you. It really is a stone that spiritually will sharpen your mind and your senses to discern the truth wherever you go. You will feel manipulation. You will feel something is off. You will feel the lies or the distorted energy. And you'll just have a shield around yourself. You won't have to combat that directly. Just by being who you are, it'll automatically not touch you. Okay, so that's a beautiful, powerful spiritual benefit. And when I talk about crystals, the theory is important. It gives us new concepts to expand our horizons, our consciousness, right? But because they're physical beings, it's wonderful to work with them on a practical level, to use them to benefit ourselves in the physical realm. So there are three practices that I want to share with you about aquamarine. Just want to show you a few of my specimens here. It can vary from, very, very blue. I love this one. This is beautiful. To the greenish blue, like this one. It has a little bit more of a greenish hue to it. This is a tiny one. I've used it so much. It's a little lighter. Raw. This looks like, I don't know, a wave, right? It looks like ocean water to me. I love this one too. See? And oh, this is really, I love this. This is so blue. Really beautiful. This one is a necklace that was made by someone in India, a spiritual person in India. Macrame. I love it. I like to have some pieces of jewelry that, people in ancient times may have worn. These are from Arizona, from Sedona. Aquamarine, raw, primitive looking earrings. This is a pendant from Pirenópolis. It's a town near my birth town, Brasilia, from Brazil. I love it. Raw too, you see? These earrings are polished. Aquamarine as well. I'm wearing a tiny aquamarine pendant here. I'm wearing 2 aquamarine bracelets. So the first practice that I will suggest to you is to wear aquamarine jewelry. It's just going to encourage your self-expression, your truth, shining your light. So any kind of jewelry made of aquamarine is going to benefit you beautifully. So the first practice is wear aquamarine jewelry. The second is to have it in your environment for the sake of calming your environment down. It just contributes to general peace when you have aquamarine in your environment, because even if things are in turmoil, aquamarine will calm the environment down. I told you, it's an emotional lifesaver, right? You will know there's a solution to every problem. So I just really recommend you have aquamarine in your environment. And the third practice is to meditate with it. It's one of the most powerful stones to meditate with. In the book, Your Cardinal Connections, the last chapter, we have the gratitude flow that helps you align your ego with your higher self. It releases the control of the ego. And I do this periodically. I use my own system for my own healing and for my own consciousness expansion too. So whenever I do the gratitude flow, It's very, very frequent that I use aquamarine. This is the specimen I tend to use most for my gratitude flow practices. So I suggest, so the gratitude flow is another story. I suggest you do that. It's a spiritual journey, right? That you do for yourself, 49 days. It's in the book, Your Cardinal Connections. But the practice that I want to teach you and that I suggest that you do here is just to get a piece of aquamarine and meditate with it for 10 minutes. You want to spend 10 minutes with aquamarine energy. It feels like you're in a play or in a concert, or that you're admiring a piece of art. It's just 10 minutes with your truth, with your higher light, combating your own darkness, just your own distortions, just feeling the benefits of aquamarine for 10 minutes, asserting your individuality, creating an energy field around yourself to discern your energy from other people's energies. You know what I mean? So meditating with aquamarine for 10 minutes is powerful. You will have insights and you will have guidance. It will just really be a joy to dive into your inner world, because this is what aquamarine encourages us to do. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And when it comes to the jewelry, just one piece of information. When I go to different places, to towns I've not been to, I like to get aquamarine, either a specimen or jewelry, especially jewelry. So these pieces of jewelry come from different places that, tell me that I have expanded my horizons, that I've been to other places that I did not know priorly. So every time you go to a different place, they go to a new town, see if you can go to a jewelry store, a metaphysical store, and get a little bit of aquamarine, because it's going to be a great way to connect to the stone and to remind yourself that you can have the courage to be who you are. And it really brings so much meaning and joy to your life. So expand your horizons, get a little bit of aquamarine wherever you go, just to remind yourself to be your true, beautiful, higher self energy in the world. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it was clear and that it brings you many, many blessings, and I will see you soon.